Wait a second, we might be getting Tank Davis and Teofimo Lopez next? No, not Isak Cruz. Not Isak Cruz. No rematch. We might be getting Teo and Gervonta Davis as the next fight for Tank's return after fighting Ryan Garcia. That's a crazy fight, I'm not gonna lie. If Tank takes that fight, you guys know I've been on Tank a little bit. You know, I've been like saying we gotta speed it up a little. I need to see Tank fight the best, you know, real soon, because he's approaching 30. He's like what, 28 now, and I think it's time. I think it's time for Tank to take that next big step in his career. And fighting Teofimo Lopez, which it sounds like, you know, there are rumors arising that could be the return fight. And Calvin Ford, Tank's trainer, was kind of hinting at a big name, not necessarily Isak Cruz. So if it's not Isak Cruz and we find out it's Teofimo Lopez, that's a big fight for Gervonta Davis and Teo as well. Teo's the man at 140, so to see if Tank takes a fight against Teo after what he did to Josh Taylor, that's a big fight. And Teo's willing to come out of his quote-unquote retirement to fight Tank. Man, this is a big one, guys. If this fight goes through and becomes official and is finalized, man, we're going to get to see probably the most explosive fight in the sport of boxing. I don't think that one's going 12 rounds. Even if it does go 12 rounds, it's going to be a war. Someone's getting dropped. Someone's going to sleep. I'm telling you, I don't think that fight goes the distance. Because of, you know, when you get to a certain level of talent, like these guys are at, where it's Teo and it's Tank, it's just going to make for a big fight. You know, it's going to make for an explosion, and someone's going to, you know, receive that bad end of the blows, and it could be either guy, to be honest with you, because Teofimo, he definitely has the better resume. He's beaten the two notable names in Vasily Lomachenko, and then also beat Josh Taylor in his most recent fight, but Tank's a different animal. We know that Tank carries that power from round 1 to round 12, so Teofimo's going to have to extinguish that flame real soon and get that respect real early in the fight against Tank, because you know Tank's coming. And you might think you're comfortable. You might even be ahead on the scorecards, but can you swim without getting wet? Can you stay clean for the rest of the fight and not let, you know, Tank counter you? Don't leave any moment for Tank to get a little bit of comfort. Don't let him back into the fight. He's infamous for starting slow and then getting you out of there when you make a mistake. When you begin to get too comfortable, you overcommit, overconfidence, get overzealous. That's when Tank is at his best. That's when he really catches you. He only needs one shot. He always says, you know, it only takes one. Once he starts hitting you, what happens? Once he starts landing those big punches on you, how do you react to that? You know, so we're gonna see if it's Teofimo. That's a major fight, because, you know, on Twitter everybody's talking about, you know, it sounds like Teofimo Lopez and Tank are going to end up fighting, because they've been real quiet for the past few, you know, weeks, months. And Teo obviously had his personal issues outside of the ring, so hopefully all that stuff is handled by now. Tank as well, he's had obviously a hard time with, you know, other things having to do with law enforcement. So to see these guys come back, you know, that'd be a crazy mega fight for both guys to return to the sport after a little, not really a layoff, just like a little bit of inactivity, a little break, and getting back to it against each other. I respect both guys if that's the fight that they're willing to make. Tank and Teo, man, that's gonna be a explosive fight. Like that's the only way I can describe it. Like these are two of the most explosive guys at 35 and 40 that also carry that boxing IQ. So I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. You know, these are two both really clean boxers and counter punchers, but they both have power as well. So is Tank going to be able to handle Teo's power? Because I know Tank probably has the ability to knock out Teo, but I think Teo might also have the ability to hurt Tank for the first time in his career, because we've never really seen Tank rocked like that. We've seen him get touched up, take one to give one, but I don't think he can do that against a guy like Teo, who's very precise, who's very accurate, very strong and athletic. So it's going to be a tough matchup for Tank regardless. It's a tough matchup for Teo, to say the least, but I'm looking forward to it. This is one of those fights that, you know, people are going to remember. If this fight goes down, Teo and Tank, this is going to be one for the history books for sure, because Teo's gone through so much. Obviously, the heart condition, his injury, you know, they said he could have lost his life, to be honest with you guys. And then he comes back and does what he did to Josh Taylor at 140, moving up a weight class after losing to Kambosos, losing all of his belts. And he still has more to prove. I think Teo still has a lot of big fights that he has to, you know, show up for and show out. But I think he's ready. I think Teo is really talented. I think a lot of people are downplaying how much of a threat he is. You know, he can box. Like this is Tank's biggest test realistically. If this is the fight that Tank takes, you know, this is his biggest test. And Tio's been in there with Vasily Lomachenko. Tank's never been in there with a guy like Loma, and Tank's never been in the ring with a guy like Josh Taylor either. He's been in there with Ryan, but I think that there's a disparity in the level of IQ and boxing ability when it comes to just strict fundamentals. Ryan has the power, but he doesn't have the ability to be patient and wait to counter you. He wants to get into a fight and hope that he catches you with something in an exchange. So these guys like Tio, Loma, and Josh Taylor, those guys are a little bit more fundamentally sound. They know how to keep their composure when, you know, the fight starts to heat up. But Tank as well, we know that once he gets comfortable, he starts to pick and land his shots. He gets more precise as the rounds go on. So how is Tio going to react to that? He has to be very careful against a guy like Tank, but Tank also has to be very careful with Tio because Tio counters him and boxes his head off. You know, he could, you know, get out of that ring with a decision win over Tank, and that'd be massive. That'd be big. Does he have the power to hurt Tank? Probably, but I could really see Tio pulling off a decision, but I could also see Tank knocking him out. So we'll see what happens. That's a tremendous fight. Gervonta Davis and Teofimo Lopez maybe going down end of this year or early next year. Man, I'd love to see it. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about that fight. Tio and Tank, mega fight in my opinion. But yeah, that's a crazy fight. I'd be really excited to see that one. And I think that it's going to be, you know, whoever makes the first mistake is going to pay, and I think that whoever capitalizes, that's going to be the one who comes out on top. That's just my opinion for now, but we'll break it down more as the fight approaches, if it's even official. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, do all that good stuff. Hit the post notification bell, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. That's going to do it for another Naz Fight Media video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been your boy, Matt Nabong, with another video. Hope you guys enjoyed it all. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to y'all always. It's been your boy.